Hello, Chattanooga.
Here we are once again for Footnotes.
Footnotes. So glad that you've joined us here today. This is a ministry of Cornerstone Apostolic Church. We're hoping that you're able to join us, to follow along with us. What we do is we gather in the middle of the week, and we just kind of discuss the sermon in the service from the prior weekend, and maybe step through it, give you some footnotes of what the preacher preached about, and we hope that you can glean from that and you can grow from it. I'm Sam Hodem.
I'm Vandy Watt.
And we're your hosts today.
Yeah.
Pastor Sloan, he preached this weekend, and his title was very simple. It was Hope.
Hope. You know, and he started off by talking about the expectations and the hope that comes with childbirth and what's expected there. And I know I've done this 3 times, not me personally.
You've given birth 3
me personally.
times. Wow.
I still have the baby weight.
Okay. All right.
Where's the sound? Come on. I thought you had that ready.
I really thought I did.
All right. But no, that's not crickets.
Baby weight. All right. There we go.
But my wife and I, we've had 3, and I know you're on the verge of experiencing this, yourself, and so like there's an expectancy, a hope that comes along with that.
Yeah.
And Pastor did a great job of what happens when both with the families, the parents, this building for what's going to come, even though the signs are there. But until that baby actually comes into the world and takes its first breath and inhales all the oxygen, I think is actually the terminology he used there, where he went, and then starts that blood-curdling scream that makes all of us, that makes everyone in the delivery room say, thank God, it's another miracle that's happened. But the signs are always there before the baby comes. And then when the baby comes, then it's just a confirmation of all the hope that already existed.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that's one way to take it. Another is my sister's name is Hope. So I have dread. I'm just kidding. My cousin always sung a song to her. It's like old gospel, right? It's like, I have hope when trouble comes. He would say, I have trouble when hope comes my way.
I'm sure she appreciated every
moment. She did. She had such a good sense of humor. Ooh. No, hope is it is something that we can't live without. Proverbs 13:12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. I don't know of anything it's like going to the restaurant and you watch the waiter come out. It's like, oh yeah, that's definitely my food.
Yeah, and then he goes to the table right next to you, and so then the hope comes with the smelling of what you experience, and it's
hope deferred. But that wasn't the take. Deferred. I'm not trying to retwist Brother Sloan's preaching this past Sunday, but it was in the sense of that hope of what to look forward to when it seems darkest. Yeah. I know you were talking about and you have that experience. I'm getting there about childbirth, but one I felt like I could appreciate was the daylight before the sunrise.
So, I enjoy spending this time of year. I like to go out in the woods and, if nothing moose. Else, I wish I hunted moose, but they're not in Tennessee. But actually, I'm not. I heard they're viciously mean and they attack in a heartbeat, and I'm not that good of a shot.
That's fair.
I really don't want to take that opportunity. But there is something awesome about, sitting in a tree or sitting in the woods and just letting and hearing that peace just before the dawn. Mm-hmm. And then you start to see the light break. And it's funny when you look at there's this platform I use, this website I go to that gives you dawn time and it gives you sunrise time. And what's really interesting is dawn always breaks dawn long before you ever see the sun. And so like that time is, you're sitting in almost darkness still, not able to really distinguish what all is there. but you're seeing the signs of what's to come
Yeah.
with the dawn. And, when you get to watch everything starting to come to life and all the expectancy as, what you thought was a deer, is not a deer. It's just
it was just a squirrel.
Or a stump that,
yeah.
You thought was a deer just watching you the whole time. And, and even this past week, my family and I had the opportunity to go into the mountains and spend a few days there with
just
family.
like Jesus.
Yes, we did. 40 days, 40 nights.
Yeah.
But we went to the mountains, and it was awesome because nobody on vacation wants to get up, as Pastor talked about Sunday. Nobody wants to get up that early, so there was nobody. I made me a cup of coffee. I went on the back deck of the cabin, and if anybody sees us at church and wants me to show them the picture, I'd be glad to show you the picture that I took. As it was still quite a time before sunrise, but you can see the sunlight beginning to break over top of the mountain. And what was pitch black when I went out there and started sipping on my cup of coffee, within just a few moments, long before the sun ever came up, the dawn broke. And it began to say, okay, what is happening now? As Pastor did a great job talking about what their experience at the beach last week, is beginning to see that sunrise now that follows those first breaking lights, that creates this concept of hope of what's to come, the hope of the new day, the hope of the fresh start, etc.
The hope, for me, sitting in the woods, hunting as a kid, I'm always freezing to death. Like, it's always cold. It doesn't matter. It's
You're hoping for the
cold.
sun for
You're
heat.
hoping for the sun, just to warm your toes. I mean, it's always so cold, and like just that first crack of dawn, and you're like, oh, thank God. Romans in 15 and verse 4 said, for whatever was written in former days was written for our instruction, that through endurance and through the encouragement of the Scripture we might have hope. It's not as easy as looking at a day.
It's not.
Because it's every day. It's a weight. It's the same. It may be the same dead-end job. It may be debt. It may be situations that we've got ourselves into, and it's overwhelming. It is too much for us to carry. What the whole point is, there's hope in Jesus.
Yeah, and that's so crucial. I always like to say that hope truly began at Calvary.
Yeah,
it really did, because the Son was lifted up. Yeah. If you read in the New Testament, it says, if I be lifted up, the Son of Man is saying this. Jesus is saying this. If I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. And what that really is it's saying, hey, when the sun comes up, that's where hope truly exists. And that's what they've been looking for centuries before Jesus came on the scene. And it's such an awesome concept when we think about hope. I mean, in Jeremiah 17, verse 5 through 8, it says, look, hey, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, whose heart departeth from the Lord, for he shall be like the heat in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh. I think that's a challenge. To
know when good things are happening.
Like without hope, you can't see this. And so, you won't know when good things are coming, because you're stuck in looking at your situation instead of looking on the horizon where hope is coming from. And it goes on to say, but shall inhabit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land and not inhabited. But we have a promise from hope. This says this in verse 7 of Jeremiah 17. It says, blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, whose hope the Lord is. For then he shall be like a tree planted by the waters, that spreadeth out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat cometh. But her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. Wow. Whose hope is in the Lord. Yeah. Like, not looking at your present circumstance, but looking beyond and stretching forth for the river of life, the water that comes from God.
I think in that vein there, I think we get very circumstantial. Our emotions, our ability to see good things are very tied to our present circumstances. But God transcends all of those.
Yes.
When we realize that we are not the source of our own hope, he says, trust in God. Find it in God. He's the source. Okay? He is the source of all our hope. I know as we're coming to a close here today, I want to, if I can, recount to you in service, the altar service, there was such a sweet spirit of repentance. Not out of condemnation, not out of hellfire and brimstone, but out of hope. Of God, I can't do it myself. I am hoping in you. I am trusting in you. That's what I'm reaching for. And so if you're watching this today and you don't have anywhere else to turn to, and you've tried every option, you've tried everything that you can, try giving it to God. Give up, per se. God, I can't do it. I am not God. You are. That's where you'll find your hope at.
It is. And, if I could just add, Hebrews 6:19 says this. It says, the hope we have is the anchor of our soul.
The anchor.
The anchor of our soul. And, if we place our hope, which is, built on so many things, but if we place our hope in the foundation of Jesus Christ, as Sam said, if you're watching, find a place and place your hope back in him. And I'm going to tell you, any situation you come against, any problem that arises, if your hope is on the horizon to see where the simple pieces, of, hey, God is doing something that we may not see. I love what Pastor said, the way he prays now, where he says, God, the sun came up today like it was supposed to.
Still God.
So your plan's still working.
Yeah.
And his plan can work for your life in any situation, any circumstance, no matter what. We just have to place our trust and our hope in him.
Yeah. All right.
It's the anchor.
That's right. Get yourself anchored in God. You'll find a hope that you won't find anywhere else. I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Check us out online. What's our website?
CACChattanooga.org.
Oh man, we didn't even rehearse that.
.org.
There we go.
And you can find us there on almost all the socials.
TikTok.
Definitely. Yeah. No.
He does dances.
I'm not a little boy that's a Tennessee fan. I'm going to do that. So, but yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. Look us up, YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube. You can find us all there too, and get with us and watch us on service online, and then join us in person. We'd love to see you and love to meet you.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you have a great week. This is another episode of
Footnotes.